Welcome back to 30 Teams in 30 Days here with Volcanic Gaming, this time for the Rockies edition. And we'll start out with a quick recap of last season. They finished 75 in 87, third place in the NL West. Their manager was Walt Weiss, and their general manager was Jeff Briddick, who is still their general manager. Of course, they got a new manager, Bud Black. But last season's predictions, I had the Rockies at 61 and 101, fifth place in the NL West, 14 games under where they finished. I honestly thought they were just going to be a disastrous team, but obviously they did better than I thought. What were your predictions last year?
Well, unlike you, I actually thought the Rockies were gonna be a little bit better and, sort of take a step up. But I did see them going in the fifth place range in the NL West. I had them at 73 wins and 89 losses, so I was only 2 wins under it.
Okay. And who was your best player, in your opinion?
My best player obviously is Nolan Arenado. He's the face of their franchise. He had 294, 41 home runs, and 133 RBIs, and he played the whole entire season, unlike Trevor Story.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. But I have to pick somebody different. So I went with Trevor Story. He hit 272, but had a 416 on base percentage and hit 27 home runs, 72 RBIs in just 97 games. I think if he can repeat that and not get hurt this time, he'll be a very powerful asset in that lineup for the Rockies.
And he also got snubbed out of an All-Star game last year, an All-Star appearance in his rookie season.
Yeah. Um, so, off-season recap, they got a new manager, Bud Black. What are your opinions on Black? I know he was manager for the Padres quite a while.
Bud Black, he's a pretty good coach. I think he has one or two Coach of the Years when he was with the Padres. He even won Coach of the Year when they didn't even make the playoffs. That's how good he was.
Wow.
But I think he's a pretty good manager. He just was in the wrong place towards the back end of his managing career of the Padres. They were on the decline and they were starting to get rid of all their players, and they just needed a new change of scene. Well, not change of scenery, but a new manager, and they just wanted to move forward. But I think Bud Black is a solid manager.
Yeah, and I think he'll definitely lead the Rockies in the right direction. But they lost quite a few players last season. No one really big, but they lost Boone Logan, who was a decent piece in their bullpen. They lost longtime starter Jorge De La Rosa, and then Descalzo, Hudley, Rayburn, and Rutledge. Who else did they get rid of, and any additions this offseason?
They traded away Eddie Butler, who is honestly a terrible pitcher.
Yeah.
Not a very good pitcher. So I mean, it's a good thing they got rid of him. Kind of like the Padres got rid of Derek Norris. Like, you just gotta get rid of your worst players. Like,
Yeah.
why keep them around? And then they added Ian Desmond and Greg Holland, which are two kind of older people, but they are good pieces to have on their team.
I think Holland's actually a really good addition. I'm surprised no one else jumped on him. But what was your or what is the way you would build this team if you were the manager?
If I was a manager, I'd probably go with Chatwood at the one. Second is Anderson. Anderson is an injury-prone player, but if he can stay healthy this season, I think he will be a solid number two. Then Batiste, Gray, and Marquez. I think Marquez is slightly better than. Wait, who was the other one? Um,
Russin.
Russin? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's slightly better than Russin. He's younger. I think he's only 22 years old. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's only 22 years old, so he has a lot of room to grow, and it'd be good to fit him in that starting role. And my bullpen, it goes Dunn, Qualls, Monet. He could easily be a setup man, but I just think McGee is a better pitcher. He's had two really bad years in the last 2 seasons, but before that he was excellent. So if he can return the form, I think he'd be a great setup man. He was their closer for the majority of last season. Then Otavino is the next setup man, and Holland is the closing pitcher.
Nice. And who do you have for your lineup and bench?
My lineup is Blackman, solid hitter, and gets on base a lot. I have Story in the two hole because I think they have better power hitters after that. So Arenado in the three hole, like I said, he gets on base too and hits a lot of home runs. And then Cargo mainly for power, and LeMahieu, I don't actually know how to spell his name, so I kind of just put it down. But he's good at the five spot. Then Desmond, Dahl. I think Dahl is a pretty young player and will fit nicely at left field to progress well. And then Walters at the catcher's spot, and then the pitcher. And my bench goes Para, Tapioca, Tappy, something like that. Murphy, Adames, and Amarisa, who's just the worst player. I mean, he hit like 220 last season. No power, can't get on base. Isn't as fast as he used to be. He's just an all-around terrible player.
He's a utility guy. He's on the team for defense, I'm guessing. But uh, if I had my way, I'd have Chatwood, Bettis, Anderson, Gray, and then Russin. I like Tyler Anderson a lot. He showed a lot of good skill last year. Actually had a pretty good ERA for pitching in Coors Field. And I also like Chatwood. He's been doing really well there as well. So that's my rotation. And then the bullpen I have Dunn, Qualls, McGee, and Diaz. I was actually surprised. I was looking at Diaz, and his ERA was under 3, which really surprised me. If they keep him up this year, he'll probably be a decent piece in their bullpen. Then in the setup role, I have Mott and Ottavino, and then closing, I obviously have Greg Holland. For my lineup, I would have center fielder Corey Blackman, of course, and then LeMahieu, Arenado, Gonzalez, Desmond, Story, Dahl, and Walters, and then, of course, the pitcher. I think Dahl really showed off last year. He hit over 300, over 10 home runs in limited playing time. I think he'll have a breakout season probably. And then on the bench, I have Para, Tapia, Murphy, Adams, and Amarista. So what are your 2017 predictions?
Wait, before we move on to that, did you say Tyler Anderson? I totally thought that was Brett Anderson, but
Y-
I knew he was on the Rockies last year, but yeah, I didn't know that he left the Rockies.
Yeah, Tyler
Whoops.
Anderson. Different Anderson.
Yeah, different Anderson. Brett Anderson's the one who's injury prone, so
They got rid of him,
yeah,
right?
yeah, no, because he can't even play. Why would you have a player that can't even play? Like,
I think the Dodgers picked him up.
we'll move on to. Oh yeah, they did pick him up. So yeah, we'll touch on that one day when we get to the Dodgers and maybe the next 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So 2017 predictions. My prediction for the Colorado Rockies this season is 85 and 77. I think they will take a giant step forward from last season, and I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but they are definitely gonna improve. They have a young core, and their pitching is a lot better than it's been in the past years. So I think this team will do pretty good.
Nice. And who do you think will be their best player in 2017?
Is that even an argument? Nolan Arenado, I think he's actually going to be a lot closer to 300 this year. He hit 294 last year. I think he will be in the 298, 300 range, and I think he'll total over 40 home runs yet again this season.
Nice. I have the Rockies a little bit less. I think they'll finish 80 and 82, fourth place in the NL West. And I have DJ LeMahieu being their best player. I think LeMahieu had a great. You should not do that. Wow.
Yeah, just go on. LeMahieu, yeah, you had to pick someone different, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, LeMahieu. So that will do it for today. Stay tuned tomorrow for the D-backs, 30
The
teams.
D-bags.
Yeah, 30 teams in 30 days will continue tomorrow. Thanks for watching.